An American living in Beijing has made a spoof of the hit song and video Gangnam Style. Check it out.
I had a friend of mine who texted me. She said, "Oh, Jesse, have you seen this Gangnam Style video?" And I say, "Yes, I have. It's been everywhere." She says, "You should make your own Gangnam Style video." So sort of have to be polite, have to, not completely shut her down. I said, "Yeah, I should make Laowai Style." And then I sent that text. 大哥是Laowai Style.
Laowai Style. Basically, I think more or less what Jesse said was, "Hey guys, we're gonna do a really fun video. It's based on Gangnam Style and it's about Laowais living in Beijing." I'm the one in the panda hat.
We started filming at 9 o'clock in the morning, and we filmed straight through until 11 o'clock at night and got all the footage done in one day. Gulou, Subway, Tsinghua. We went there, we acted silly in public. It was a lot of fun.
I think what's funny about the song is that Jesse's just taken all of these really everyday things that people identify with and kind of turned it into little narratives. So, yeah.
We got a lot of Chinese people who are interested in watching us be silly in public, and we got a lot of Chinese people who are interested in watching the end result of the video once we put it online.
We went and filmed some stuff, and it was fun, and then there were upwards of 1 million people that watched it on the internet.
After being posted on Youku, Laowai Style has got more than 1.5 billion viewers. People see JC and his friends everywhere on the internet, but Phil has got to know his personal life behind the scene.
这是我们相声的一个拿手好的一个窍门。
My story is that in my junior year of college, I decided that I wanted to study abroad and learn a language. I felt that China was really an interesting place to be, and so I decided to come to China.
What Jesse didn't expect was how difficult studying Chinese would be.
You walk down the street, you don't even know what this shop is selling because you can't read all the characters, and if you can read 9 of the characters but you can't read the one important character, then you don't know what's there. It was very hard. I felt that, every day there was a lot of pressure, there was a lot of strain. It was, I got headaches. It was, I guess what you would call culture shock.
But he soon realized that humor could help him overcome his culture shock.
When I got my language up, not very high at all, but just enough that I could start making jokes and people would realize I was making jokes rather than speaking wrong. Once that happened, everything kind of, snapped. My language didn't get perfect overnight, but my communication got so much better. That shift was a very important part in the way that I learned about China. And if I hadn't made that shift, I don't think I would have come back.
After graduation, Jesse applied for Fulbright scholarship in order to come back to China.
I wanted to find a way back into China, and Fulbright was very nice to allow me to have this opportunity to come here.
一直是非常坚持、非常努力，遇到了很多的困难的过程当中，经常的在跟我进行着联系。是在这种情况下，使我感动下来的之后，给他写了推荐信，也把我自己个人的一些个资料材料之后都给传到了这个美国。
Finally, he got a scholarship to study Chinese humor.
我发现了他自己本身具有很幽默的一种特质。 他自己的特色当中呢，很明显。
People share the same emotion. I mean, it's just a basic thing. I laugh, you laugh. It's very hard to be angry at somebody that you're laughing with. And I think it's also a lot easier to understand somebody that you're laughing with. If you're laughing with them, you're tuned into what they're saying. You're understanding on a level that's greater than if you were just, to hear their life description read to you in a 讲座 sort of thing. So I'm trying to find ways to bring China and the West together through humor. I've apprenticed myself with a xiangsheng master, Ding Guangquan, who is Dashan's master 20 years ago, and still is now known for teaching foreign students how to do this xiangsheng comedy.
我们讲就是说，什么叫相声？闹明白了这里边的东西，所以 根据每一个在这个课堂当中，一直呢，他是很认真的这个做笔记，认真的录音录像，所有各种各样的活动，他是想尽一切办法能去就去。
Obviously, 相声中国人都知道 is a traditional form of Chinese stand-up comedy. It's a great way to learn about China, continue to develop my language skills, and to find a way to understand what is Chinese humor.
Through Laowai style, Jesse hopes to help tell the story about how foreigners live in Beijing.
Once we put it online, so it made me very happy to see that people were watching it, because I felt like I was able to express what foreigners are like now in China. I think that a lot of Chinese people have an idea about a foreigner always in Sanlitun, buying very expensive xizhan, and not interacting with Chinese people, not studying about China. Chinese people get this idea that, oh, foreigners can try, but they can't really understand China. That's just frankly, a wrong view of foreigners. We can be foreign, we can do silly things that Chinese people might not normally do, but we also do know about the way that, people in China live, and the way that I live here in Beijing is, very, very similar to what I said in the video. A lot of that was just straight up true.
He also wants to introduce Chinese people and their culture to the West.
Laowai style is just being able to show that you do know things is interesting to Chinese people, especially as we're here as foreigners. There can be foreigners in China that understand China, that love China, that want to connect China to the outside world.
He and his friends host an improv group in Beijing, where Chinese and foreigners can perform comedy together.
Place we like to welcome in people is perfect for my message of trying to connect this China and the West. The more Chinese people that I meet, the more I notice that it's not that there's one type of Chinese person. People ask me, oh, what are Chinese people like? And I'm like, well, what are Americans like? There's all sorts of different types of Americans. There's all sorts of different types of Chinese people. Repeatedly, the stereotypes wind up being proven wrong.
It is also a way to connect China and the United States.
我觉得呢，他通过这一次研究了之后呢，他得到了这些这个知识之后呢，他会把中国的幽默更多的去传到世界，他也能够把中国的幽默和这个美国的幽默会结合到一起。
A lot of times when you talk about the sort of subjects that I've been talking about, U.S.-Chinese relations, connecting East and West, people forget that the only reason that that's valuable is to bring together people. If you're not bringing together people and you're only talking, then you're talking about names and buzzwords, and there's only a limited value in that.
This is his China dream.
My China dream would be finding ways to increase these dialogues between China and Westerners who live in China and just the West in general, and find a way to do that using humor.
是我们这一代的老演员。是吧？我们这些个搞这个相声艺术、语言艺术的人来说，是一种欣慰，而且呢，我们也从心里边来说，说句老实话，我们感谢这些个学生们把中国的幽默传到其他的国家去。
And he does believe in it.
Jesse is very full of life. He obviously has a very strong dream and something that he really wants to accomplish.
这是一个美梦，我觉得呢，这不是一个梦想的梦，不单是去做梦。 而且是可以去实践的。
This is a really great country, and I think that people are trying very hard to understand the West from inside China, and I think that the West should be trying harder to understand China by the way that Chinese people think of it.
We just had this one now, 花情家园, which is kind of about living in Wudalko, as a lot of students in Beijing do. And who knows what Jesse's going to cook up next? Maybe I'll be involved.
like a drunk imagination. 我吃饭的夜空做川菜，外面外景家里人不外的飞。